Q&A because I haven't done a Q&A in a really long time, so I felt like it was about time. And I did a Q&A on my Insta story last week, and I forgot to answer the questions, so let's do it. One that I get a lot is how are you today? Which that's a really fun question. And by the way, if you have any questions, just put them in the chat. I'm on YouTube too, so you can just put them in the chat or put them in the question box. Oh, hey, cute girl 101. I don't know how to say that, but I'm doing well today, and I hope you're all doing well today and having a blessed day because it's Monday, so the start of a new week. And then also, how many songs do I have? Currently, I believe, I Know Better, already there, on and off, We Should Break Up, Simple, Against Us, Pretend, Healthy, My Type, Why Can't You Be Mine, Smiling, Special, and Why Even Try. So 13 so far, and then more coming out. And then also I have like other demos and remixes, so a lot. But how many I have written in general is I have like over 500 songs written, because I get song ideas every day and like usually like write a song every day. So yes, lots of music, because it's a great way to express yourself, and whenever I'm like feeling down or happy, I write about it, so that helps a lot. Oh, hi, Benny Boy 607. Hi, Yoon or Sierra Damas. Hi, thank you for being so kind and joining. Hope you're having a great Monday. And then another question I get asked is, do you want to be a singer? And of course I want to be a singer. Being a singer is awesome, and singing is awesome, and writing songs. And yeah. How are you feeling today? Good, thank you for asking. I hope you're feeling really well too as well. Having a good week. I think Mondays are always good because they're like fresh starts, and so it's like a way to start the week fresh. I say a lot. I always need to stop saying that. I don't know why. You know how we all have our weird habits where we say things a lot? And then what inspired you to sing? Thank you for asking. I would say just like happiness. It was just a coping mechanism of whenever I felt sad, or even when I felt happy, or just anything. That was just like what I turned to, because I think we all have that thing that just naturally we turn to. Like it can be a passion, a person, like literally anything. And for me, it was just always singing or music or something like that. And then also church choir inspired me a lot, because I really do believe that the best songs, not the best songs, but like a lot of the best singers have come from church backgrounds, because there's so much talent in the church and there's so much joy in the music. You should write a song called LOL. I should. I'll do that. Good idea. Thank you. Favorite song to sing in the shower? I actually don't sing in the shower, which I know is surprising. Well, because here's the thing. I love to sing, but I always try to be careful. People are going to be shocked by this, because like in every video I'm singing, and I'm always doing the duet reactions where I'm just like, oh, but I don't like to sing too much, because it's like I don't want to annoy people or bother them, or like for them to hear me. So I'm a big lip syncer. Like, so in the shower, I'll be like, so I'm like that. Shower is great acoustics. Yeah, I've heard about that. A car, because people always ask me why I record in the car, but the car actually has really, really good acoustics. Did you stay away from social media during your recovery? Well, see, basically what happened is I kept getting my phone taken away from me, and like the doctors and nurses would take the phone away from me, and like my family would take my phone away from me, but I'd be like, I want my phone, I want my phone, I want my phone, I want my phone. And I'd be like, I don't know what's going on in the world. Like, because it's like you get your news from TikTok, like I do. I feel like I figure out current events like from my For You page and stuff. So I was like, I want to see what's happening. Like, I feel so isolated from the world without social media and without the phone. So I would ask for it a lot. So I got it sometimes, but because it kind of depended on like the nurse I had, where like sometimes the nurse would give me my phone because it would calm me down, because I would just be like busy, and then other times they wouldn't. But I think having some time away from it was good, because I'm addicted to my phone and on my phone or computer or technology like 24/7. And then I noticed like it it's hard to be present with people, and like sometimes I have a hard time being present with people and just like having a conversation or like going a time without being on my phone. But I realize like it really is like, although I still love my phone and I'm still on my phone a lot, it's good to have like, at least meals without your phone and time with people you love without your phone. It's like you don't have to film everything or have your phone all the time. Although sometimes I get like a little frightened when I don't have my phone. I know that sounds weird, but it's like the type of thing where it's like if you go out in public, you want to have your phone, just in case something happens or something. You want to kind of have that communication. So, phone and social media are just a weird thing. They're blessings and amazing, but curses at the same time. What's your favorite color? My favorite color is definitely pink. Obsessed with pink. Well, if you can collaborate with any pop artist, who would you collaborate? I would collaborate with anybody, like absolutely anybody. But I do feel like collaborating with somebody like Britney Spears would be cool, because she's cool and just has awesome music and dancing. Or yeah, really, I would collaborate with anybody though. Like I think collaboration is just fun because it's like when you have two people having ideas together, it's just gonna make it better because it's like then you get objective feedback and then you get their expertise, your expertise. So I think it helps a lot. And then do you run your own social media? Yes, I do. I do all my social media myself because I feel like if I didn't post it, it would be so bad and you would be able to tell if I didn't post it. You know what I mean? And I think it's like that with everybody. It's like if you don't post on your social media, you could just tell it's not you, I think. Yeah. Do you have a Roblox account? I do have a Roblox account, but I never use it. I never use it. But it's Caroline's music, but it's really fun. I'm sure Britney Spears will adore you. You have such a pretty face. Oh, that's sweet. Thank you. Oh, hi, Millie. Any advice on how to begin recovery? I don't even know where to start. That was totally how I was. I was so lost. I think it depends on the situation, but I do think getting help's important because for me, it's the type of thing where when I first started, I thought it was like very much something that I could do on my own or that it wasn't that complicated, but it really is a very complicated process, not only mentally, but physically. Well, like I had refeeding and stuff. And so it was the type of thing where I really needed to be monitored and really needed to be like with doctors and psychiatrists and nutritionists to really recover. Like I needed that help desperately. So it obviously depends, but I think that's the best advice I can give because it's hard to do it on your own because you really don't know like where to start or what to eat. And it's like the type of thing where it's not a fun experience because it's very humbling, but I feel like it's a very eye-opening experience to just life because it's like you have to learn how to eat again. Like you kind of have to learn like for me personally, obviously everybody's experience is different, but for me it was like learning how to become a human being like all over again because I had like times where like I couldn't walk and get out of bed and times where I couldn't really speak the way that I normally could. So it really felt like rebirth and like being a baby and starting all over again. But then it's like so special and so cool because you feel like you somewhat obviously like you're still the same person and still have the same problems and everything, but it's kind of like getting a fresh start. So you can actually make it a really good experience. And also being positive is good because with recovery in general, I think it can be a miserable experience or you can make it positive and be like, this is a fresh start. This is awesome. I'm not the same unhappy person I was before, and like happiness is possible. So I think that helps. How often do you write songs? I usually will write a song every single day. That's my goal. I like to write a song every day. Like, even if it's not a full song or it's just like a chorus or something, but whenever I usually have multiple ideas a day of like a melody or a lyric, and then I write them all down. And so my notes on my phone section is crazy. and it's like it's so full and so crazy. How do you stay optimistic? I mean, I think staying optimistic is really hard, but I think prayer and I think knowing everything's going to work out and just knowing that like there's a plan. For me, that really helps to be like everything's going to work out. Like it's really hard now, but even if it takes years, at some point it'll get better. Like it might be a hard road and it might be a long time, but it'll make me stronger and I'll get through it and it will get better. And just being thankful. I think being thankful is so important because it's so easy to get caught up. Like I think especially with social media because it sounds so cheesy, but it's so true because it's like you see everybody who looks so happy and like has all this stuff and they just seem like so happy. But it's good to remember that like we all have our struggles and the grass is always greener on the other side. And so definitely being thankful for what you have, like definitely. And then can you recover from chronic illness? For me personally, there's no cure, but you can control flare-ups and make it a lot better. And make it a lot better just with self-care and heat therapy and medications. And so you can find ways to cope with it. And that's really the best thing that you can do is just find ways to cope because you have to cope. You look and sound so much better. Well done and hello from Scotland. Oh, that's so cool. Do you have an ED? Well, I like to think former ED, but it's a lifelong process and journey. But yeah, I think a lot of people deal with EDs. Like I never realized how common it is. Definitely. Do you eat? Now I do eat. So that's good because it's really survival, where it's like, even if the food doesn't make you feel good, you gotta eat it because it's survival and the way to live, for sure. Do you think you're a good singer? I get asked this a lot, and that's always a really weird question. But I don't know. Like, I think I'm okay, and I think I love it, and I think passion is more important than being amazing. I think it's about the passion that you have. Do you struggle with body image? I used to a lot more when I was younger. I feel like now at this point in my life, I don't really care because it's like you just realize that it doesn't really matter. And I think for me, it was a lot of body dysmorphia where I saw myself like very differently than what I actually was. And so I'm definitely a lot better with that and just getting through everything. I think it gives you a new outlook of like, at the end of the day, that's not really what matters. God doesn't care what my weight is. You can't like put your self-worth into a number on a scale because it's like, it's like that's just part of life. Like sometimes you gain weight, sometimes you lose weight fluctuates. And where I didn't necessarily have body image, but I more necessarily had an obsession with like maintaining and staying a certain weight because it's like you just want to stay. But life is life and things happen. Have you got to singing classes? If not, you're great. Well, I used to do choir, and then I have taken singing lessons before, but I haven't taken singing lessons in a while. So now to keep my singing better, I just try to obviously stay healthy and then vocal exercises and like it's really easy, even just on YouTube, you can be like vocal warm-ups, vocal exercises, and do kind of like classes like that online, which is fun. Oh, hi, Ruby. Oh, that's such a pretty name. I love it. What's your fave food? My fave food right now, I would say, is probably eggs, because I really tend to crave those, or oatmeal. I would say those are my biggest two. How did the doctors help with food allergies? Honestly, it's still somewhat of a struggle, but mainly antihistamines because, see, I used to really not want to take antihistamines because they would make me really tired. And I was like, I'm already tired enough and I don't want to be even more tired. But the thing that I learned about the antihistamines is when I have the antihistamines, I can eat more. And so then, even though the medication makes me a little tired, I'm eating more, so I have more energy. So then it doesn't affect me as much. So the antihistamines, I would say, are the biggest help. And also like cooking food, because see, I can be so lazy sometimes, because it's like is sometimes I just like don't want to put in a lot of thought to what I eat, and I just want to like grab something really easy, because it's just, it takes a lot of time to like eat it. But learning that I really need to like, you know, put time in and bake certain foods to make me not allergic to them, mainly like fruits and vegetables, like baking them. And so then that really helps. How's your progress going? I would say it's going really well. So I'm definitely excited about that. You should try making baked oats. I've seen that trend, but I don't understand what it is. There's so many recipes and they're delicious. So how do you do that? Do you just, I see what I do is I just put it in the microwave. But how do you even bake it? That's cool though. I definitely need to look at that. It looks so cool. Have your merch? I really like it. Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. I really appreciate it. Yeah, making the merch was just like so fun, because I felt like it was a fun way to express. Um, do you get hunger cues? IDK had to have hunger cues again, and I never feel hungry. That was me for so long. I never had hunger cues, like ever, because I think I was just so done. Oh, it's like an oatmeal cookie. Oh, that sounds good. That it was just like I had no hunger cues at all. But once I got on the feeding tube, plus, see, in the hospital, I really wasn't in much control of what I ate, because they wouldn't allow me to feed myself, and they would like spoon feed me things. And so after that, I got used to having so much food. It was kind of reminded me of like Stephanie. I forgot her name, but she's the influencer on YouTube who did like the All In Journey. Like it kind of reminded me of that a little bit, where they just kind of went like really intense. And so then my body's like used to having so much food now, that now like I like really do get like physical hunger, stomach growling like a lot. And I'm like, I just ate and I'm hungry again. And I'm like, but we're listening to my body, because that's really the advice that they gave me at the hospital, was just like listen to your body. Like they gave me a target range of calories, but at the end of the day they were like, if you're hungry, eat. Stephanie Buttermore, yes, yeah, her content's really good, because I think it's so true and scientifically and very similar to like what I'm doing right now, I would say a lot. What's your favorite song? My favorite song. Today I was listening to Youngblood, and I really like his songs a lot. The God Save Me But Don't Drown Me Out is so good. What makes you happy? I would say singing makes me so happy. Singing and writing songs. Like writing songs makes me so happy, because I really will just, because it's sometimes you don't necessarily know how to express what you feel, but sometimes if I'll have a thought or anything, I'll just write it down, and then that helps a lot, and then you kind of get it out, and it's like, I feel so much better now. It's really like therapy, like it really is, because it's like you're talking to a therapist, but instead of talking to a therapist, you're just writing it down and being like, I'm so upset right now. Like even something stupid like that, like just being like, I'm so frustrated right now because I stubbed my toe on my car door. And like sometimes just writing it down or saying it out loud or telling somebody just is like kind of freeing, and then you can let it go. Can I make an edit of you? Oh, yes, of course. The edits are honestly so kind and so, so sweet, like, and so awesome. Did you realize that you were progressively getting worse? I did, but see, I didn't know how to stop it. And because I just like couldn't keep food down. And so basically I just was like trying to eat more every day, like just a little bit. And then I was also thinking to myself, like, at some point it has to stop, right? Like this was very stupid and not true. So like, don't do this. But I think I thought in my head, like, oh, at some point, like, my body's just going to have a set point and just stay here. And so then I won't keep losing and I won't get sicker and things will balance out and even out, or like my body will do the survival process and start holding on to fat. Like, I don't know how I thought that. Like, I don't know where my mind was, but that's not true. You just keep losing. And so, yeah. So I knew I was getting worse, but I just was trying to eat a little bit more every day and was just really hoping it would stop. But yeah, it just like, I really just needed like to be monitored. Do you live on your own? I don't, because I think it's a lot healthier for me to live with people, because even when I live on my own, that's when I can like very easily forget to eat or get worse or get more depressed, because it's like you don't have those people to talk to, where when you live with people, I think it can be a lot healthier, because it's like if you're going through something, you can talk to them. If they're going through something, they can talk to you. So I feel like it's healthier for me personally, to have people around, because I did live on my own for a while, but that was when my ED behaviors were the worst, because then you also have total freedom and you don't have anybody who can stop you, where like it's nice to have somebody to be like, did you eat today, and so I think that helps a lot, because you need people to keep you accountable. You can't do it all yourself. Because I know it's just hard to even admit this self, but it helps people to hear. Hopefully it helps people to hear, because truly I don't want like anybody to ever go through what I've gone through. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. I'm living on my own, and I'm definitely struggling more now. Yeah, that happened. That was very similar to what happened to me, because like I thought like being on my own I would be happier and have more freedom, but then it gets lonely and you kind of have too much freedom to do what you want to do, and then you can kind of go a little crazy with the freedom, and then you're like, oh, this probably isn't the healthiest for me. It's very true. I live on my own and I'm lazy too. Yeah, totally, because you're like, I could go to the store, or we could just stay here, and it's like, why does that happen? What's the longest you haven't eaten for? See, I would answer that, but I don't want to trigger anybody, because I feel like with in ED culture, like a lot of EDs can be very competitive, and like people want to be sicker than each other. And so I don't want anybody to be like, oh, she didn't eat for that long, I'm going to do that too, or beat her, because it'll mess you up. So don't do that. Definitely not. What's your favorite color? Favorite color is pink. Totally. But I actually love gold too, and black, and glitter. Do you know the Avengers? If yes, who's your favorite? So I've never seen it. I know what the Avengers is, but I just haven't seen it. But I'm sure it's really cool. And my BF will always feed me LOL, thank God. Oh, that's so sweet. That's nice. Yeah, TVD, even with depression, ADHD, I won't be myself, not even like an AD. Yeah, depression is a huge thing. Like, because I think that would happen, where I would be depressed, and then sometimes when you're depressed, you just like don't even have an appetite, because you're so like down, you just don't want to do anything. Cat or dog? Probably cats, I would say. Have you dyed your hair? I have dyed my hair. I've never dyed my hair like very drastically. The most I've done is just kind of gold highlights, but not like necessarily blonde, but just somewhat golden. So that's fun. You considering going to therapy? It might help you tremendously with figuring out the source of ED. I think I know the source of my ED, because I think it's a combination of like a lot of stuff. But yeah, I have gone to therapy before. I've never necessarily found like a therapist that I've clicked with, but I think having if I could find a therapist who I could like really click with, and who I don't feel judged by, and who I feel like kind of like understands and will just like listen, I feel like that would be really helpful, because that's always been my issue in therapy, where I've just always felt like I can't necessarily fully open up, because I'll feel like they're judging me, And so if I found like a really non-judgmental therapist, because nobody likes to feel judged. You know what I mean? Like, I hate feeling judged. It's the worst feeling ever. You're like, fix your own problems. Don't judge me. I'm trying. Do you have a lot of baby hairs now that you're getting better? Well, do you see that? Um, I've always had a lot of baby hairs, but yeah, for sure. Also because I lost a lot of hair, because my hair was really messed up, so they put it in dreadlocks, and then a lot of it fell out. So a lot is growing, so it'll be like weird little baby hairs. So that's why it's kind of a mess. I know you're a Christian, a lot of churches offer free therapy. I went to mine and it helped. That's amazing. Honestly, all therapy should be free. Like, I think, like, that's one of my biggest pet peeves. Like, especially medical care and like mental health care and therapy. It's like, because it's vital and you need it, and it's like so frustrating when that's an obstacle. Because it's like, let's be real. Like, especially when I lived on my own, if like help was free, I probably would have gotten help a lot sooner, you know? Keep trying with therapy. It took me years to find a non-judgy one, but it ended up being so helpful. Yeah, it's definitely about finding the right one for sure, because that can be really, really hard. Do you like art? I love art. I love all type of art, and I honestly have so much appreciation for people who are really good with art, because it's just like, it's so good to be that, like, artistic and just be able to express yourself. What's your passion? I would say my passion is definitely singing. Like, definitely. Do you have friends that go visit you? They were very strict about visiting in the hospital. Like, very, very strict. Like, it had to be like in a certain hour in a certain window, and also like had to be monitored, because I had to be monitored like 24/7. So it was very, very strict. Do you feel a lot better so far? I mean, there's still issues, but I have a lot more coping mechanisms now. So I feel like that helps a lot. What's your favorite holiday? My favorite is Christmas and Halloween. What's yours? Easter is my number one favorite. I love Easter. I love everything about Easter because it's just so joyful and the songs are good, and it kind of has like that pastel vibe, if that makes sense. Did you have someone like a family member with you at all times? They actually wouldn't have let me. I had a sitter with me at all times, so like somebody who worked at the hospital, but they really, I think just they had to do so much medical stuff all the time that they just wanted me to not have any distractions. What's your favorite talent? My favorite talent? What do you mean? Like a talent? Well, a talent of somebody else is I love to watch people play basketball, because I feel like that takes so much talent, because you have to have the hand-eye coordination, you have to run, you have to get it in the hoop. So I would say that's probably a talent that I love to watch. And then I also love singing. So absolutely. What's an Easter song? I would say like Hosanna, Hallelujah, any song about the resurrection. I would say that's definitely my favorite. Can you say hi, Journey? Oh yes, hi, Journey. And what's your favorite color? My favorite color is definitely pink. What holds you accountable to eat every meal? I skip a lot of meals because I just don't feel, yeah. And then, yeah, what you said, Miss Lua Cannon, that's definitely it, is eating small portions frequently. That helps. And just like, like almost just eating a little bit every hour, and just, or having somewhat of a schedule or intervals, and being like every 2 hour I'm going to eat, or just having somewhat of a schedule. And because then I notice for me, when I have a schedule of like I'm eating here, here, my body gets very used to it. So then it's like before you know it, it's like when you eat a snack at 11 o'clock every day, it's like at 11 o'clock, it's like you're ready for food because you're used to having it. That happened for me. But yeah, that helps a lot. Hi, Jay. Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. I really wish I could get help. I don't qualify for insurance. Oh my gosh, insurance that doesn't cover is like drives me so crazy. Yeah, I totally know how you feel. It's like it's so frustrating. Just like it's like help, especially for things like EDs should be free. It's like it's one of the biggest problems in the world. Like, come on, Joe Biden. Help us out. It's very important. Oh, hi, Liberty. Is your name Liberty? That's such a pretty name. I really, really love it. Oh, you can get medications to help increase your appetite. Yes, that's so true. If that's a real struggle, it can really help. Yeah, they did that to me in the hospital and put me on because my hunger cues were so bad, and then when I would eat, I would get full really quickly because I wasn't used to it, and so they would give me a lot of medication to stimulate the appetite, and that really helped. And another thing that actually helps, and this is I was like looking up stuff like this, but I guess this is, you know how there's like professional food eaters, and they'll like it's like whoever can eat more wins. What they'll do is they'll switch the taste, so it's like they'll have something sweet, and then after they have something sweet, they have some and they feel full, then they'll have something salty because it's a different taste, and then maybe they'll go back to the sweet, and then it helps them eat more. And that actually works. Like I've done that before, and it really helps, where it's like you have something sweet and then you're like, oh, I just can't even eat anything sweet, then something salty, and then you're ready for the sweet again. So that really, really helps. Oh, I read on your Instagram that you had schizophrenia. Is that true? Oh, so the mental health stories on my Insta highlights, that was for Mental Health Awareness Month like 2 years ago. And basically what it was is it was other people's stories who wanted to share their stories. So those weren't my personal stories. How are you? Good. Everything is getting better every day. So that's definitely a joy. Your voice is so much stronger now. Thank you. It really helps. It's crazy because you don't realize how it really affects everything from the vocal cords to your brain to walking, running. It really affects everything. So yeah. Anyways, I have to go, but thank you so much for joining. Thank you for being so kind, and you had the best questions. So I really appreciate it. Love you. Bye. And YouTube, bye. Thank you for joining. You're the best.